Back with our Bright and Bold series, showcasing influential figures during Black History Month. Tonight, the person behind a few of the nation's most recognizable destinations. Coming from a long line of architects, her life's work is also breaking barriers. Newsy's Amber Strong has her story.
Brick by brick, Deryl McKissack is building on a legacy.
A project like this, you know, there are 1,000 moving parts.
And if you've ever visited here, flown into here, or taken in the magnitude of memorials like these, you've seen her handiwork. For McKissack, it's in the blood. She comes from a long line of architects, builders, and dreamers.
My family goes back to my great-great-grandfather, who was a slave and came to this country in 1790. And he was a builder as a slave. And he passed the trade of building down to my great-grandfather.
He would pass it down to his sons, who'd become the first Black licensed architects in the Southeast and officially start the family business in 1905. But it didn't end there. Her father also taking on the family legacy, and her mother continuing the work after his illness.
I started at 6 in the family business with my father. He would take us to work with him on Saturdays.
In 1990, armed with a degree in civil engineering and $1,000, McKissack launched her own firm.
I had a lot to prove. I was one person. I was Black. I was female in a male-dominated industry. Why would anybody want to work with me?
But somebody did, eventually, after she picked up the phone and reached out to 150 potential clients.
I don't need a handout. If you give me an opportunity, I'm not going to let you down. And I built on that.
From there, the repertoire grew, from the U.S. Treasury restoration to modernizing D.C. area schools to the design of Ghana's Cape Coast Museum and project management on several U.S. airports.
This particular job, you know, there was work on the taxiway and the apron all around the concourse. There was a lot of different activities here in the concourse.
But it was the appointment as architect of record for the Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial that solidified McKissack's own stamp on history.
I think about my ancestors and what they went through, the atrocities they went through, Jim Crow laws and you name it, slavery. And all of that, for me to be sitting here today and even be sitting there then would just bring tears to my eyes, because there had never been a time when a Black firm had designed something on a national mall.
Today, her firm handles more than $15 billion in projects, but it wasn't a crystal stair. She says she faced misogyny and racism along the way.
I've been discriminated against by Black men as well as white men. And it's microaggressions in the sense that you can see them huddling together, you're left out.
A joint report from 2 architectural organizations found that 2% of the nation's architects identify as African American. The barriers to obtaining licensure include the cost and a lack of support from their employers. McKissack says she's come up with a plan to diversify the industry, enlisting some of the biggest firms in the country.
Board members need to be Black in those companies so that there is a true understanding at the top of how policy makes Black people feel uncomfortable, or, you know, how things are said and written sort of are microaggressions. And then there's companies. Black companies need to be sustained.
Because like the McKissacks before her, she's laying a foundation she hopes lasts for generations to come.
I believe that everybody is unique. They come here with a special purpose. And when they find that purpose, nothing can stop them.
Amber Strong, Newsy, Washington.